Welcome to the Strenuous Life Radio, the podcast where leaders, entrepreneurs, men and women learn the essentials and soft skills of the strenuous life. And now, here's your host, JR Hendrick.
Knew we'd probably have to make a take two, you know. How about an ounce of drink some dang root beer or something? So, if I can get this technology to work properly, we won't have too many problems, maybe. Sometimes it takes a couple refreshes, unfortunately. Okay, give me just a minute to get this cue just right, and I'll be right back with you.
So, my great idea was a men's lifestyle website that was different than other men's lifestyle magazines or websites that are out there. The idea for the artofmanliness.com came to me in October 2007, and I was in a Borders bookstore, rest in peace Borders, over on 81st and Yale, and I was in the magazine section, just killing time. One night, taking a break from studying. I was in law school at this time, studying to be an attorney. And I was looking at the magazine covers like I always do, and I was just looking at the headlines and the covers, and I just had this realization. Every single month with these magazines, it's the exact same thing. You're going to see articles on how to get six-pack abs. You're going to see articles on how to, get with as many ladies as possible. You're going to see articles about, a lifestyle, promoting a lifestyle that most average guys can't afford. These exotic trips to Africa and Australia and New Zealand, doing really it cost $30,000. Like I'm up to my eyeballs in debt as a law student. It just didn't resonate with me as a man. It didn't inspire me to be a better man. And so I just had this idea. You know what? I'm tired of doing this every month. How about I just start the men's magazine that I always wanted to read? That stuff. I'm going to put stuff in it that I want to see in a men's magazine. And so I decided, you know what? Blogging. You can buy a domain for $10. You can get WordPress for free. I'm just going to start doing that. So that's what I did. That night, and it was funny. I brought this. I went snooping around for this. I had my trusty moleskin in my pocket that night when all these ideas were coming to me. And I started writing down sort of the concept of the art of manliness. And this is the page this is where it all began 5 years ago. And here we are, 8 million page views and impressions later, and 135,000 subscribers. I thought this was funny. This kind of summed up what the art of manliness was all about. If you're looking to find out how to get six-pack abs or how to be a player, you've come to the wrong place. So yeah, the art of manliness, if you've been to the site, it's sort of this kind of throwback, vintagey men's magazine. We write content about how to dress well, but on a budget. We talk more about style, not fashion. So we give advice that will be good 10, 20 years from now. We talk about, the big, really popular thing is straight razor shaving, or shaving with safety razors like your grandpa did, growing mustaches. We give career advice and stuff like that, but stuff that's different from what you see else out there. And the other thing we do is, I didn't want to do the whole babes thing. You go to a lot of men's websites, and it's just galleries of babes, hot babes. And I don't want to do that. I'm a married man. I'm past that. I didn't want to be a bro anymore, right? So that's the idea. How I brought this idea to fruition, actually, you have to go back about a year and a half earlier to that. In 2006, I started law school at the University of Tulsa. This had been my life's dream, to be an attorney. And I worked really hard to get there. And during my first semester of law school, I discovered blogging. I started reading a lot of these personal finance blog sites that you might have seen, like The Simple Dollar, Get Rich Slowly, Zen Habits, and they were all they're all really big now, but they were just getting their start. And I thought, this is really cool. I was reading Life Hacker, getting productivity tips on how to be a more productive law student. And I thought, this is awesome. I could do this. I want to do this. So I started a blog that first semester of law school in 2006 called The Frugal Law Student. And the tagline was, mitigating my crippling law school debt. So it was all about what I was doing as a law student to mitigate my crippling law school debt, and also my wife's grad loan debt, my undergrad debt, car loan, whatever. So I would just just share things with my friends and family. Here's what I'm doing to save some money. So we were, thrift storing was a big one. I did an article like brushing your teeth with baking soda, just really silly things. And the funny thing was, I just sent it out to like a few of my friends and family, but it started getting a following somehow. And people, like law students, were emailing it to their law student friends in California, New York, and in about a year, I had about 1,000 subscribers, which is pretty good for a first-time blogger. And here's the thing: during this time when I started blogging, I knew nothing about like web design. I knew nothing about HTML. I knew nothing about PHP. I knew nothing about servers, graphic design. I was a humanities major in college, and I went to law school. So like this whole geek stuff, I didn't know anything about. But I didn't have the money to buy an expensive web designer, have a nice design. I didn't have the money to, do a lot of nice things that you can do with the website. So I had to learn everything and do it myself. So I had to invest a lot of sweat equity. So with the Frugal Law Student, I learned how to do Photoshop, but I didn't use Photoshop. I used the poor man's Photoshop, which is GIMP. That's what I did, do my graphic design. I went to W3 schools to learn how to do HTML and CSS. I would, search the WordPress, forms that are free there to figure out, okay, I want to do this cool thing, but I can't do it. How do you do this with PHP? And I learned how to do that there. So yeah, I really cut my teeth on how to create a blog and run it and make it look nice with the Frugal Law Student. So fast forward to a year later, this is 2007, I was in that Borders, and I was like, this would be a great idea. I'm sure there's other men who feel the same way with me. They're tired of like the babes and the six-pack abs and whatever. So I had the idea, and I told my wife, I came home from Borders really excited. I was like, Kate, I got this great idea for a blog. I think it'd be a big success, bigger than the Frugal Law Student, 1,000 subscribers. And it's called, it's gonna be like this kind of vintage men's magazine, kind of throwback to grandpa. And I remember I was like, I gotta come up with a name for it. And I remember I pitched her like the manly arts, because I remember I read this book in college it's called The Manly Arts, and it was about pugilism. And she's like, no, that's not cool. And so we're like, okay, The Art of Manliness. She's like, oh yeah, that's awesome. So I bought the domain that night, $10 on DreamHost. And I remember my wife's like, wait, you're about to start law school finals. You can't start a new blog and do your finals. And I was like, okay, you're right. So I'll wait till the winter break to get this thing going. So yeah, winter break 2007, I started designing The Art of Manliness. And I thought it looked awesome for being done by this law student who knew nothing about graphic design. It looked like had the wood background, and I picked out, one of the benefits of doing the whole vintage vibe that we do on the site is a lot of the images, which cost money oftentimes, a lot of the images that we use are in the public domain. So it's free. It's like abandoned copyright or stuff that's like made before 1923, so I can use it for free. That's in one of the, not only does it's great for branding, but it's cheap. So I Googled, I wanted like a cool logo and I had in mind, like I want like an old-time boxer guy with a mustache. And so I Googled that as like old-timey boxer with handlebar mustache. And the guy that came up was the famous bare-fisted pugilist John L. Sullivan. I was like, that guy is going to be the face of Art of Manliness. So it's like the guy, you've probably seen him, the mustache, has his hands in the fist, and that was the banner. And it looked horrible. It was all grainy because I didn't know what I was doing with GIMP. But, for the most part, it looked okay. And I launched it in 2008, January 2008. The first article was an article it's called How to Shave Like Your Grandpa. And it's about how to use a safety razor and badger brush and, cool shaving creams. And we had some other kind of career advice and relationships advice and things like that. Relationship advice that was geared more to like, men who wanted a serious relationship or men who were married or whatever. And I told my followers on the Frugal Law Student, said, hey guys, I started this cool new blog called The Art of Manliness. You should check it out. And yeah, right off the bat, The Art of Manliness had like 500 subscribers that first month. It took me like a year and a half, like half a year to get that on the Frugal Law Student. So I was leveraging that audience that I already had. And so I was just putting out just 3 posts a week. It was just me at the time, because I was trying to balance that in law school and a job, and being a husband, and then I was also on the law review at law school, and so I was trying to I can only publish 3 times a week. So one day, so things were kind of slow for the first month or two, and then one day in March 2008, everything just blew up. My life changed. I was in I can remember I was in my wills, estates, and trust class learning about inheritance, and I remember I was checking the site, just seeing how things are going, and my site wasn't loading. It crashed. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So I was like frantically trying to figure out, okay, what's happened, blah, blah, blah. And I found out my article on how to shave like your grandpa got on Reddit, got on Dig when Dig was a thing, got on Delicious. It went viral, and I had so many visitors that day, it crashed my site. And from that moment on, it was I was bummed that my site crashed, but I was excited that it crashed because we were getting so much traffic. I think that day we had over 100,000 visits in a single day. And I was just so excited. And ever since that moment, we were kind of on the radar with these social news sites. Our traffic just started going up because people were submitting our content to those sites. And so after that, like from March into into the summer, our traffic and subscriber count just was going up exponentially every month, by leaps and bounds, to the point where we had over 10,000 subscribers just after the first 6 months. And then what was crazy was people started knocking on our doors, book publishers.
I'm for one, have to agree. I got some friends that also agree with me about that. There has been a lost art of manliness. I'm only going to talk for a few minutes and then I'll close her down, but most men's magazines, literature, and music, what they focus on. Going for a beer with the guys. Checking it with some hot girl. Come on. His grandpa learned how to shave with a safety razor. Well, I'd see my granddad shave. He used the regular razor, but sometimes he'd go in to see the family barber, just like I did. The family barber was old school and used a straight razor. Nothing wrong with that. And since I can't see, I don't trust myself doing a straight razor, and I think neither did Granddad. You just use a good safety razor. It does just well. Some people say, "Well, why can't you use a electric razor?" Quite frankly, I don't like those very much. See, the Strenuous Way is talking about this art of manliness, how important it is. It's not about finding the hot chicks and the six-pack abs. We're trying to talk about how to grow a good business. And if you're not married, how to find you a good girl that has the same values that you do. I think we've become so reactively physicalized and sexualized that it ain't even right, guys. It ain't even right. We don't need to be messing like this no more. Seriously. We got a lost art of manliness. And I'm serious. Why do you think back in the 80s, good old boys like to get the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue or swimsuit, the Hot Babes thing? Sorry, but I'm old school. I don't like my women looking trashy. And I don't think of sex every time I look at a woman. The only person you should be thinking about that is your wife, and that with mutual consent. You understand what I mean? Now, I got people say, well, JR, you're behind the times. Well, that's just tough. That's just it. You're going to have to learn from me how it really is. Because when it comes to manliness, I don't like to fart around. Growing up, I felt like I had competing ideas about what a manly was. Had my granddad teach me how to be a gentleman. Daddy, he had his ideas on what a real man was. And I'm having to find out for myself. Now with that, I hope you enjoy listening to Streamless Life Radio. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. Become a part of the Streamless Life family. JR Hendrick saying, until next time, don't just sit there and take it. You go out there and build them dreams, you can take it. Do what others don't so you can be what others won't. And do what others won't so you can have what others can't. And like my daddy always says, think strong, live strong, and live the strenuous life. God bless y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. Go take care of yourself now, you hear?